I I am sitting in my garage, trying to get some internet on my other phone, but I can't. Wi-Fi's not reaching out here. Oh, wait a minute. No, we got a couple people. I'm gonna talk a little tonight about some things that have been, I guess, on my mind. You know, I'm looking through these boxes, you know, that I have of documents of stuff that I found, and I'm thinking a lot about what's been going on, and you know, I'm feeling kind of frustrated, and that's okay. It's okay. Can somebody please do me a favor? I don't know if there's anybody on this page that's watching right now that's like a friend of mine on my personal page. I'm still here. Hold on a second. I'm trying to do something. Hang tight, guys. We'll be right back with it, you guys. Hang tight a second. I promise you guys I'll be right back. I'm still here. Just hang tight. All right. Let's see if that did anything. All right. So basically, flashes. There's flashes. That's not unusual. Whew, you know, you guys, this is the thing. So this Project Flint community is fantastic, right? And I'm so grateful for everybody. It's just that when it continues to grow, I'm in the garage, by the way, because this is a place that I have chosen to come to tonight because I have some of my stuff in here. So, you know, as this community grows, there's a lot of different opinions and viewpoints and things like that. So, I'm really frustrated though, because it's like I've been getting a lot of, and listen, this is the thing. I'm not upset about people being harsh critic. Hey, Candace. I'm not upset about people. Oh, Candace, I plan to get back to your message. I'm sorry. I will respond to you. I read the whole thing. You got my last message. I explained to you. I was in class. So, you know, there's a lot of harsh critic from people that, you know, I'm saying, you know, spreading fear and false things and whatnot. But this is the problem with that, is that you guys gotta understand, you know, I'm trying to break it down into a simple understanding, because, you know, there are times where even where I am like, God, really? Like, I was just having a conversation with my cousin, Jocelyn, tonight, and, you know, we were talking a lot about my faith, because we have completely different faiths, and I was kind of explaining it to her, like what God is wanting to do through all of this, and how it's like a huge leap of faith for me to go. And so I'm looking at like some of the stuff that I found in this house in Flint, Michigan, like over a year ago. And, you know, it's not by chance. It's absolutely not by chance that I found it. These documents that I have, you know, maps and just a lot of city and state, all the way up to the White House. You know, and so like I'm looking, and this is really not even anything. You know, I've got more of this. This isn't all of the documents that I have, but so I'm not, there's been times where I've thought about it and I'm like, I'm just keeping it really real with you guys. So just, I'm not trying to, people are going to comment on this like, oh, you suck at this, whatever, then go away. Seriously, because for those who really want to hear the truth and know the truth, they're going to be able and willing to listen through this. Because you have to understand that this is not easy stuff to deliver, and it's actually not easy to like digest and comprehend either. This is really hard fact and truth once you start stepping into it. But so these documents that I have really do tell a story. And so I've been posting some things lately and people are like, well, that's like, those are years old. That's old and da 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 da. You guys gotta understand is that like, when I post things on this page that are old, it's not, maybe it's old as to when it happened or when the article was posted in Flint, Michigan. But the fact of the matter is that it's still very relevant and it plays into the now. Because people are so unwilling to look at how psychological warfare and all of those things that they do and conduct on people. And so this is kind of one of those things. And so I'm looking at these maps here that I have. So you guys have seen before, I've done these Google satellite searches, and this is just like 3 of the aerial photographs that I have of like many. These are let me see if this has like a timestamp on it. Well, not on that corner. These are like the 70s, right? So these are like really good. You can see it says Flint, the city of Flint, Michigan. Copyright 1970, what is that, 1971. And so when you look at these areas now, like on Google Satellite Earth, like just about more than half of these homes are gone. Those are the newspapers that I was telling you guys about that I had found that are laminated, and they tell a story. Okay, and these newspapers were the very first things that drew me to want to look more. And some of the other stuff that I have is like, I've talked before about Pastor Lewis Mays, Reverend Lewis Mays, who was the father of Eric Mays, who now sits on the board at the Flint City Hall. And so this is the same place where I found all these documents, like all of what's in here. And I mean, I'm talking like this is a pretty deep bin. It's pretty deep bin, and it's full of stuff. And then I got like another bin somewhere else. I don't know. There's tapes of board meetings. Just you name it. There's financials, documents from the White House, documents from the city, documents from the state. And I understand that people, are like, you put yourself in harm's way by saying this stuff, but God trusted me to this stuff, and so I have to show it. And when I talk about what's going on in Flint, Michigan, people are so afraid to look at the bigger picture, right? And they don't want to. Hey, Robin, it's nothing new. Hold on one second. Sorry, it's nothing new. It's stuff that I found in the past. Yeah, it was just showing. This is for Robin. You're just joining because Robin, you're always a really awesome part of this community. So these are just some of the pictures, the aerial photographs that I had found in Flint, Michigan, in that abandoned house in February of 2016. And then there's like that tub of documents that I found. This is the same house that I found like that book from like the Rockefeller and the NSF, National Science Foundation, which is like correlated with the NSA, and this book on crime control and stuff like that. And so when I talk, okay, now I'm gonna start getting to it. There's a lot of people that are really upset with me because it's hot in here, because I've been talking about a lot of conspiracy and stuff like that, but this is the thing, is like, you guys gotta understand, if any of you guys ever go back to the first day when I was in Flint, Michigan, right, and how full of just love it was, and it's still there, because even though sometimes the message is painted in a hard way, it's delivered in love. And so the message has only changed because my knowledge has changed. I'm learning more. I'm becoming more educated. And so that's why. And there's a lot of people that seem to not like the truth. But this is the thing about that, is that I have a responsibility to tell the truth. And so, you know, I have friends right now that are very sick and that are dying. I feel like, I'm sorry, it's really hot in here, you guys. I feel like when I go to Flint, and, you know, I'm not as cheerful as I normally am and stuff, because I'm simply just not, you know, this sucks. There's an entire city of people, an entire American city of people that are sick and dying right now. And people still, number one, don't want to look at this problem and understand how significant it is. They don't want to believe it. And two, when people like myself, just an average, ordinary person, comes up and starts delivering this truth, you guys, you wanna label us as conspiracy theorists. But you know, I've been there, and it's true. It's like when I go into Flint, sometimes it's like I'm walking into a different world. But this is real. These are things that people are living every single day, and their land is poisoned, their air is poisoned, their water is poisoned. And I struggle, especially tonight, to share this message with you guys, you know, because, you know, this is my heart. You know, I have a lot of room in my heart, and this is a part of my heart, is what's happening to my friends and even strangers in the city of Flint, Michigan, in our country of America, where I have children myself. And so people don't think that this could happen to you, but this is America. This is something that they had planned for many, many, many decades and many generations. And I have proof of that. And the proof of that is, you know, like in this tub right here, some of it. And, you know, I've been sitting on this stuff for a while, and I trust God to like give me my lead, because it's like lately I've been feeling like this is my down season. I've had this happen before where, you know, I'm quiet and I'm not as hungry to research. I'm not as hungry to whatever. And so, you know, sometimes God will put a spark in my heart to go and have this event, or, you know, and lately it's kind of just like, whoop, there goes my phone. I caught it like a ninja. Dang, I'm so good. That was really smooth though. I caught my phone. But you know, so whatever action, whatever direction it is that I go, it's because God is leading me to go that route. And you know, I've been wondering a lot lately, you know, about the city of Flint. I've been thinking about it. I've been analyzing it and thinking about the despair that they've been going through, and thinking about these hard times that they've been going through for decades and generations, even more than we even realize, and how they've been poisoned, and all of these houses that are abandoned, and how these people are missing, and then these places along the railroad track that I found, and all of these like businesses or corporations that look to have some funny business going on. And there's just two, and then that school that had like the bombs, like the missiles going through the wall, you know. And so I'm like looking at this whole thing, and I'm wondering like why it's so hard for people to comprehend the truth that I'm trying to deliver to you guys. And people are so angry with me, and they're so upset, because it's like, you're just trying to spread fear, and you're just a conspiracy theorist. But it's like, you guys got to understand something. Like, I've literally been on the ground. I've literally been researching and driving around that city and trying to find truth and understand what is really happening there. And a lot of that has been because of my own footwork, but it's always driven by what God is leading me to look at. And so you know, I just have to say this, is that, don't forget about Flint, Michigan, number one, because there's children and people that are sick and dying. And every time I go back there, you know, every single time that I go back there, I've been noticing that people that I love and care about are getting, you know, more fatigued. They're not looking as good. They're not sounding as good or healthy. And it concerns me. It really does. It concerns me. So, and then additionally, the fact that this is continuing without justice. You know, I'm really, this is where I see, even myself, a woman of strong faith. Yes, tired. I'm very tired. Sean, I'm very tired. I've been having some major headaches all day. My face is like beet red right now because I've been having this migraine. So this video is like a huge sacrifice of my jaw because talking is very hard. And it actually like makes my whole face inflamed. But so it tends to get puffy and red. But whatever. You know, so I'm looking at all of this that's going on in Flint, Michigan, and how, you know, they've calculated this entire thing for so many decades and generations, and how even the residents that I fight for in the city of Flint, Michigan aren't able to comprehend some of the things that I'm saying and delivering to them, because Joe, I promise you I'm healthy. I'm really tired. I've been having a migraine literally since I woke up. I'm fine. I'm doing very well. I've been suffering from this migraine today, and it's legit. My face is like, but you know, so they can't even comprehend, because you guys can understand is that this poisoning it's neurological, and it damages their brain. So if you guys can take a look at that video that I pinned to this page, that last YouTube video, Brom Katz and Charles Klatz, that's a tongue twister, gave me their footage. They went to Las Vegas for a video convention, filmmakers video convention, and they met my friends Heather and Tony Morales, who just days before leaving, fleeing the city of Flint, I met and interviewed, and you guys can see their live stream on somewhere on this page, the millions of videos. They stumbled upon these two men, and I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that everything is, most things are very, you know, divine. And so it's just really awesome to see that these two young men who are also inventors, they forwarded me, they gave me the rights to this video. And so it's their video footage. It was them sitting there in Las Vegas, recording the video, but they sent it to me in good faith that I would do something with it that is, you know, productive and helps tell the truth. And so that video is going to be like a series of videos, because there's like over an hour of it, of really strong truth. So it's going to be like over an hour of video that I have to break down, because people's attention spans aren't long. So I need for the world to know, Flint, the people of Flint, Michigan, need for the world to know the truth of what is happening to them, what has happened to them. I'm so sick and tired of going back to Flint, Michigan, and every time I go there, it's like I see my friends like sick and tired. You know, they're sick and they're tired. And, you know, and I get worried, because it's like, how many of them are dying and we don't even know it, you know? And that's real. That's real. It's very real. Hey, Heather, I hope you liked the video. It's pinned to this page. You know, and so these are very real concerns that I have. You know, every single child in Flint, Michigan has been poisoned. I have 3 kids. I have 3 babies. I cannot imagine this happening in my city. I cannot imagine this happening in my city. But it's Flint. So what? You know, they say that Flint is like the number one, they say that Flint is like the number 1 murder city capital of the world. I've never had an issue. You guys have seen my videos. You've seen the places I've gone. I've been in the most dangerous situations. I've never had an issue. I've never, ever had an issue. I should be dead. If that's the case, if Flint If Flint is truly the most #1 murder capital city of the world, I should be dead. I do know that God has his hand on me. I know that absolutely. He showed me his angels. You know, I know. But they have such a bad rep, and I feel like that reputation of Flint, Michigan has been created on purpose by those in power to keep people away. Because, you know, and then I think about what's happening in Flint, Michigan, and how everybody's been poisoned and how everybody is sick, and it's more than just the water. It's more than just the land. It's more than just a lot of the things we even know about. There's so much going on in Flint that we probably don't even know about. And they've been able to get away with this for so long. Like, I look at this pictures here that I found in that abandoned house in Flint, and this is, like I said, only 3 of probably like a couple of handfuls of them. And you know, I look at these locations, like I've Google mapped them before, and more than half of these neighborhoods are gone. They're gone. And you can walk into these houses, and it's like you walk into these houses and it's like a museum. Like, all of their stuff is still in there. It's like, you know, books, you know, in some of the houses, not all of them, you know, there's books that are still on the shelves. There's things still in their drawers. It's like their beds are still almost made. And I guess I'm just kind of keeping it real with you guys right now. You know, like there's some people want to talk about me being crazy talking about this conspiracy stuff, but you guys gotta understand, there's a lot more happening in Flint, Michigan than people want to admit to. They don't want to believe it. People don't want to believe this truth. Because how could this happen to people in an American city? How could this happen? How could our nation, how could our government possibly, how could they possibly plot against us like they did in Nazi Germany? How could they? I'm witnessing this firsthand, you know. And so it's like constantly having to leave Flint and come back home, and come from home and go to Flint, and then have to like transition worlds, because that's exactly what it is. It's like transitioning worlds. And people think, yeah, and it's Standing Rock too, and with our indigenous community, like, you know, there's so much of this that is so hush-hush, and it makes me wonder, like, how many more places throughout our nation have they gotten away with stuff like this, like mass murder, mass genocide, you know, mass poisoning, all of it. I'm really wondering this, like, how many times have they gotten away with this throughout these years and generations and decades that we just don't know about? Because they distract us. They distract us with our media and our social media and all of this news that's not even important. And, you know, half the time it's probably not even real. But, you know, I'm delivering to you guys nothing other than truth from what I find and what is real. And, you know, if being emotional is crazy, then call me crazy, because how can you not feel when you see and experience and witness this stuff? How can you not? You know, how can you not? When you go into a city and you see everybody sick and dying and discouraged and full of despair and sadness and depression, it's heavy there. It's heavy. And that's why I say we need more Christians. We need more people of faith like myself. And I know that not all of you guys have the same faith as I do, but listen, that's fine, because if you don't, I'm not going to stop talking about Jesus. I'm not. We need more people to go in there and pray, and we need more people to believe and to have faith and to rise up and be strong and bold against this spiritual wickedness that is happening in the city of Flint, Michigan. Because now I'm starting to understand, is like, that's why God called me there. It wasn't necessarily just for the water. You know, the water is what popped it off. That's what caught my attention. That's exactly what that was. It began with the water. But since I've been in Flint, I've been learning so many truths and finding so many things. But it's not about the water. It's not about the water. And you guys want to know what? Actually, I believe that I have only yet begun to touch the surface of what's really been happening in the city of Flint, Michigan, that people are so mad at me for talking about and for exposing, and call me crazy because I'm fear-mongering, they say. But it's not. Yes, I'm emotional because I'm human and I feel and I have emotions like we all should. Those of us who are awake, those of us who are not desensitized, I feel, I see, I can see these people's sufferings. I can see that they're all suffering, and it bothers me. Is there something wrong with that? Is there something wrong with being bothered and emotionally captivated by the sufferings of other people in a city that is only 6 hours away from me? That's not that far. 6-hour drive. There's more of you guys out there that can get there and that can help. You don't have to do what I'm doing. That's the thing, is you guys have to understand. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I don't need another person. God doesn't need another Karina. What God needs is another person just to rise up and get in there and to help. That's what they need. Okay? Because this is what my job is. My job is to do this. My job is to catch a lot of that heat and to call you guys in and to expose and to bring light and to go and to pray and to bring encouragement and to do a lot of it. It's not me, it's God. I'm really simply, truly just a willing vessel. That's all I am. That's all I am. And so if you guys are ever watching these videos and thinking she's calling us to come in there and help, but we could never do what she's doing. We could never do that. That's fine. That's not what I'm asking you guys to do. That's not what we're asking you to do. What I and we are asking you to do is to go there and help them. Bring them resources. Bring them love. Bring them hope. Bring them prayer. Bring them Jesus. Okay? That's what we ask you to bring. Because everybody has a role. And so when everybody starts to recognize that they have a role in a mission, it is then that we are finally able to actively unite and work together in one accord, because there are different parts of these chords. And so it's like what's that scripture verse that two chords are better than one, because they're not easily broken, because they're wrapped up and they're strong. Can you imagine having all of these different chords wrapped up, intertwined together? That's not easily broken. We need to get more people in there to do different roles, and right now God has me in a different season. And what that is I'm home, and I've been fatigued. I'm tired. I think that a lot of these things are starting to kind of, I'm in a process mode, I guess we'll call it, a prayer and process mode. And that's where God's got me, and I'm not going to apologize for it. In past times, I used to fight it because, God's been working on my heart, and he's been having to teach me what it looks like to have faith in him. And that means it's not by my own strength. And so when I let go of me and I let God, I have to trust him that when I don't have a drive and a pull in a certain direction, it's because God's not calling me in a certain direction. And right now, the Lord is telling me to rest. And so, I can do this type of stuff from home because he's provided me with, documents and maps and books, and I have more, and so and just friends and research and love and prayer. And so he's provided me with all of the tools that I need to continue my work in Flint while I'm not in Flint. But in past times I would push hard, even though I knew I really should have been resting. I was fighting it, because I felt like if I'm not active enough, then nothing's going to get done. Nothing's going to happen. But God really needed to remind myself, hold on, girlfriend, sister, daughter. You need to remember whose show this really is, and it's not yours, it's mine. And so once I realized it's not about me, it's not by my will, my strength, my power, my might, it's only because of him, that I was able to finally accept these moments of rest. So I should, instead of being anxious about resting, I should be grateful to rest, because this is a gift that God is giving to me, is to rest, because it's been over a year and a half now of me fighting really hard for the city of Flint. And it's been an emotional uphill and downhill battle, good, bad, all around, you know? And so I've been finding out a lot more truths, and I just really need you guys all to understand that, like, this really is real. Like, when I tell you guys the stuff that's going on, it's not to fearmonger anything. There's no ulterior motive. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to, whatever people might say. I'm not. I'm not. As simple as that. You know, I just want, what I want is to be obedient to God, is what I want. And in that, I know that growth will come, just like that one video that I did in that trailer park in Flint, when I delivered that really hard message, and at the end of it, I looked like a crazy person because I was like crying and emotional, and those flowers and those roses were growing up randomly out of the ground, and then those flowers all along that one trailer in an area that's considered a Superfund site, which is known as like a toxic waste site where things don't normally grow. In the year and a half at that time, the year and a half that I had been going to Flint, I'd never seen any life ever grow in that area. And then that day I was like crying. I was crying. As I was getting ready, I was walking in the car with my friend, and I was crying and really having a hard time delivering this message, because, like, you guys got to understand, like, talking about this stuff is not easy for me. It's really, truly not. Don't kill the messenger, right? But seeing those flowers, because, like, I was walking to the end of that trailer park closer to the former General Motors AC spark plug, where you guys always see like that big water tower, the old water tower. I was walking to the end of that road, and I was dragging my feet. I was really struggling. Walking there to give you guys that message about the Racer Superfund site and how they had been improving to the MDEQ, the city and the state had approved for this Racer Superfund site to dump 5,000 gallons of toxic waste for 3 to 5 days at a time, for 3 to 5 months at a time, or every 3 to 5 months, into the city of Flint, Michigan's sanitary sewage system, which ultimately plays a role into the cross-contamination of toxic waste and water, because there's been a lot of main breaks in these lines. And so they knew exactly what they were doing, is the point. But when I was walking there to deliver that message, I saw these flowers, and I instantly knew it was God speaking to me. And it was like he was telling me, like, it's okay, my daughter. It's okay. I'm still in it. I'm still here. I've got my hand on it. And what those flowers signified to me was hope. Hope. That's what that looked like to me. That was hope. Because, you know, there's days where I feel like people put too much emphasis on me, and that really frustrates me, because you guys have to understand, like, I'm just a person. I'm a person just like you guys. I struggle. I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm this, I'm that, and the other, just like you are. I'm not a priest. I'm not, even priests are people, you know, unless you're Jesus, unless you're God, like, we're people. And so I feel like I really get frustrated, because I feel like people put too much emphasis on the messenger rather than the one who is delivering the message. So, you know, that was really awesome for me to see that, because I needed that reminder. And lately I've been finding myself kind of, you know, just sad. I've been really sad, very sad. You know, I've just been thinking a lot, you know, being away from Flint and having time to, you know, watch and talk and discuss. I'm just seeing that people rapidly go downhill. You know, when this water crisis first popped off, I remember when I first went to Flint, Michigan, I remember there was so many, like, different like news agencies and celebrities and people that were there. And there, I met so many of them, and there were so many people that were there. They wanted to get this big story of Flint, right? And they all wanted to broadcast it and have this major news headline and whatever. And so, where are they now? because this crisis is still continuing and it's only worse, and people are getting sicker and more mentally, emotionally, neurologically, physically fatigued and sick as the day goes on. If anything, this would be the time when people really need to start getting their agencies back in there again to start helping bring awareness, because now they're closing these pods up. The hospitals are still lying to the people, still not disclosing their medical ailments, and there's people all over the place that are just trying to fight so hard for their lives, for their family, for their city, for their futures, and they're being denied everything possible that you could think of. And they're actively engaging, and they're actively working, and they're out there, and they're doing these recalls, and they're fighting, and it seems like no matter how hard they fight, laws will end up getting changed to suit the state's needs, to cover up what they've done and to silence what Flint is trying to do. And it's like unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable that this entire city has caught such a horrible reputation, and the people that want to talk so bad about Flint, Michigan are the people that have only merely read about them or heard about them in the news. Well, let me tell you something. I can guarantee you that I know a lot more than any news agency anywhere knows. I've been there a lot more times than any news agency has ever been there. I've made more friends, more family. I've slept there more times than anybody, through the wind, through the winter, through the snow, through blizzards, through the rain, through the heat, through it all. Okay, I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it all. In the worst neighborhoods, in the saddest neighborhoods, I've sat in a heroin addict's house as she was withdrawing, and she couldn't eat, and she had tubes in her stomach, and she was, vomiting through her stomach with food coming through her tubes. And I held her, and I sung to her, and I comforted her. I've got stories that people don't even know about. Okay. And so I can just guarantee you, so people need to understand, is that when I deliver things to you guys, it is the truth. It is the truth. So turn off your television, stop being so distracted, and start engaging yourselves, because really, you're still not going to learn it from me. Okay, because it's one thing to hear it. You guys don't know me. You don't know me from your neighbor. You don't know me from your dad, your son, your sister, your aunt, uncle. I'm nobody. I'm a stranger. To you guys, I'm a nobody. You don't know me. You don't know my character. You don't know my integrity. You don't know any of it. So I'm nobody. The only way for you, so for those of you who have been following me for a long time, you might believe me, but there's a lot of people that don't. And so the only way for you to actually get answers is to get off your butt, turn off your TV, get in your car, fill it up with gas, and get there yourselves. How's that sound? Does that sound good? Because they need it. They absolutely need it. And it's getting to a point where it's like, I don't even know how else to scream this. I'm praying, and I'm putting my faith in God. And I guess, I'm not losing my faith in God. I guess I'm weary, and that's okay, because, I've been walking with the Lord for a really long time, and I've seen him, I've fallen, and he's risen me back up again, and I know that he's going to do that for me personally here, and then for Flint. And so that's where I really have to stop looking at how things look, when the corruption is looking like it's still thick, when the justice is looking like it's not being served, when Karen Weaver is being put back on the ballot even though they were successful in their recall, when when all this is happening, I have to sit back and look and think to myself, be still. Just be still. Like, let go and let God, because it's not about what I feel, what I see, what it looks like, what it seems like. It's not about that, because God works in the most mysterious ways. And I know that he's going to come through in some way, shape, or form or another. And I don't have to see it right now. It doesn't have to make sense to me. I just know my God, and I know his heart, and I know how much he loves, and I know how much he demands justice. And you guys got to understand, yes, God is love, but he's just, and he is mad, and he's only going to put up with this for so long, and so this is the thing, is like, this has been going on for a really long time, and I feel like, I feel like, because I don't know, because this is the part of like having faith and just trusting, is like, I feel like, what God is doing is like, you know, he's raising his people up to go in there, and he's had his time. He's had enough of watching this corruption of stuff and murder and malice of things that have been happening in Flint that we don't even know about, but he knows about it. And so without anybody even knowing about this, he's been raising people up to get in there and to fight for them, because he knew about it. And before I knew about it, he called me and other people there. And then after our obedience and faithfulness and perseverance and long suffering, then he started to reveal more to us. And so it's okay. People think we're crazy. We still have a job to do, and that's to deliver truth. So don't forget about Flint, Michigan, please. And this is a really long and emotional video, and I know that, like, you know, people have been commenting on some crazy stuff that I look like I'm drunk or something like that. No, I'm not drunk. I've been having a migraine all day long, got this thing going on, so I'm in my garage, and really I was out here looking at some of this information that I have, these maps and this information, you know, that I found in an abandoned house in Flint, Michigan, and it's absolutely astonishing to me just to see how good God is, and I need to let go, and I need to let God right now, because that's where he has called me. It could last a day, it could last a week, it could last a month, I don't know. But I've been noticing that my messages have been building, my comments have been going more so unanswered on my personal page, on this page, my text messages, my everything. It's just kind of like, nope, like, no. Like, rest. Like, you've been, you know, this is like, I'm talking like how I hear God, but I've been going for a really long time, and God has been really good to me, because right now he's allowing me to rest without guilt. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel guilty for it. You know, in past times I would feel guilty for it, because like my natural thought process, my flesh thought process would be like, how can you be okay with resting when all of your friends, this entire city of Flint, Michigan is out there suffering and fighting for their lives, and you're back home comfortable, able to do this and that and whatever, and they're not. How can you be okay with resting when they can't rest? And that's when God comes in, and he's just kind of like, don't listen to the enemy, listen to me, and I called you to do this job, and I'm telling you to rest, because you have a long road ahead of you. So, you know, I'm not going to be any good to anybody if I'm not rested, and, you know, all of that. So I'm just begging you guys to please don't forget about the city of Flint, Michigan. Get in there, bring them water, bring them baby wipes, bring them hand sanitizers, foods that don't require water, love, hope, prayer in Jesus' name. Get through those neighborhoods and start praying and casting out demons even. That Satanism in Flint, Michigan is so thick. I'm telling you guys, it's not even funny. There's so many people that are so deceived even. I don't even know if half these people even realize that what they're really following is the devil, because he comes as an angel of light, and he deceives himself as like whatever. Anything other than God, anything other than the gospel, anything other than Jesus is seriously of Satan. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. You can call me whatever you want. I don't even care anymore. It is what it is. That's the fact of the matter. That's what's going on. And so Flint, Michigan is very heavily oppressed and filled with a lot of spiritual wickedness. And like I've said before, you got to gear up for battle. For those of you who are going to come there to engage in more than just a donation drop and community service, if those of you who might consider going there to do, you know, prayer or, you know, whatever, you know, that in Jesus' name, you should really consider highly, not even consider, you must prepare yourself. You know, that means put on the armor of God, because the enemy will recognize you from a mile away. And it happened to me the first like month I was in Flint at a board city council meeting at the city hall. Crazy long story. I won't get into it. But so you have to really be in a place of, you know, consecration with the Lord, so that you're prepared to handle the fight ahead. All right. So anyways, you guys have a good night. I feel like I missed probably 50 things that I wanted to say, but I need to go to bed right now. So you guys all have a good night. See you later.